So today's class is IP address and subnetting. Okay. So why IP address is important? The IP addresses are important because to identify the computers over the network means like we have our identity, right? Our identity is our address only, correct? So to get you identified over the over India or over the world, you have your own identity, correct na? If you want to identify you in the state, probably you can show your voter ID, correct na? And then to get the identity in the India, you can show Aadhaar card. But if you want to show your identity in the world, you can use your passport. So every level you have your own identity card. So similarly, the computers will also have the identity. The computer's identity is nothing but the IP address. IP address is nothing but it is internet protocol. IP IP means it is internet protocol and address. Okay. So if I talk about addressing as broad term, okay, bigger term, there are two types of address in the computer. The first one is physical address, second one is logical address. So physical address means that is the address given to the hardware of the computer. Means that address is common across the lifetime of the computer. Okay, means whenever the computer gets manufactured, okay, whenever there's a laptop get manufactured, that laptop has got one physical address. It is similar to the IMEI number you have in your phone. How polices will track the phone? That is using the IMEI number only, because that IMEI number is not common or it is the unique in the entire world. None of the other computer, none of the other mobiles will have the same IMEI number. Correct, na? That IMEI number can also be changed. Okay, but you have to change the device inside it. Okay, that is not so easy to change, but there are some hackers, they'll do that. Okay, physical address also like that only. Physical address means whenever the computer gets manufactured, that address will be given. So that address we call it as the physical address. The physical address in the other term we call it as MAC address also. Okay, so this physical address is the, see, this is a 12 digit number, see, and it is alphanumeric value. See here. So the physical address is unique address. We also call it as media access control. It is a unique address which is used to track a device in the network. It is also called as physical address. Correct now? That's all about. And somebody asked me, if you ask me where is this address will be stored, sir? This address will be stored in the network interface card of your computer. Then if you have two network interface card, you will have two physical address. Let me show you that. If I go to ncpa dot sorry, if you go to command prompt and type here ipconfig slash all. If you just put ipconfig, you will not see the IP address. Sorry, you will not see the MAC address. Ipconfig, if you just type, you will only see the, see, you will only see the IP address. I have multiple network interface card. Okay, see, this is a wireless LAN, this is the Ethernet adapter. Okay, and if you go a little up, you have Ethernet, multiple Ethernet cards are there. Okay, none of the Ethernet card is showing the MAC address. Okay, it is only showing IP address, link address, v4, subnet mask, default gateway only. Correct now? But if you run ipconfig slash all, see, ipconfig slash all, if you do ipconfig slash all, then you see multiple network cards are there. Even though you have multiple network interface card, okay, it will show you everything. See, it is showing more information, correct na? If I show you here, take this as a one Ethernet adapter, network adapter, VMnet 1, and if you see here, it is showing the MAC address here, physical address. See, physical address, it is showing 00505c C00001, correct now? And if you look at the another IP address, MAC address, see here, it is having different address. See, physical address 005056 C00008. See here, 01 is there, is 08 is there. Means every network interface card will have a different MAC address. And if you change the network interface card, then the physical address will be changed. Okay. Now you know in the addressing there are two types of address. Correct. Now one is physical address, another one is logical address. Logical address we have not learnt again. I mean yet, but physical address means it is the address given to the computer, the physical devices. Correct. Now that physical device is nothing but your network interface card. Whenever the network interface card gets manufactured, that time it will give you one address. They will give you one address that is called as physical address, and that will never get changed, and that is unique in the entire net globe, entire world. It is similar. Okay. Then the logical address comes, which is very very important. So logical address means it is the internet protocol address, as the name itself says, right? Logical. So it will be keep on changing. Okay, means it will keep on changing from network to network. So today you are at home. If you look at, if you go to the command prompt and just check ipconfig, it will tell you some one different IP address. After some time, you connect your mobile hotspot and then you check, it gives you different IP address. Then you go to your office, there you connect, there it will get different IP address. Correct? Na? So this logical address is nothing but it is the rented house. Whenever you are for rent, right, houses, so that address will be keep on changing. In your other card also you have two addresses. One is your permanent address, another one is your current address. Correct na? So the current address can be changed if you are rented. It is not necessarily the current address should also have a static. Imagine if you are always using your house broadband, probably you will get the same IP address, the range of IP address. Correct? Huh? So that is called as logical address. So physical address means it is given to the hardware of the computer, that is unique in the world, that will never get changed. So logical address means it is the IP address, the internet protocol address. The logical IP address, the IP address can be changed from network to network. So that is the takeaway of this slide. Okay. So if I further divide this IP, the internet protocol address, there are two versions of internet protocol address. Okay, when I did ipconfig, it was giving you two address. One is IPv4, another one is IPv6. Now let me show you how an IPv6 looks like. Okay, say for example, if I do ns lookup, okay, ns look up facebook.com. So Facebook has got two IP address. Okay, one is IP version 4, another one is IP version 6. Can somebody tell me which is the IP version 4 here and what is the IP version 6 here? By looking at the address below, addresses are there na Facebook. There are two addresses are there. Which is the IPv4 and which is the IPv6? Hmm? Okay. See whether the answer is right or wrong. Please try to attempt it. Okay. See here, I was asking the IP address of the facebook.com. See if you run the command like ns lookup facebook.com, it will give you the IP addresses. Okay. It has given two IP addresses now. See, one is this IP address which is your IP version 6, another one is IP version 4. Okay. So the difference between IP version 4 and IP version 6 is very simple. This IP version 4, it is 4-digit numerical value. Okay, it is 4-digit numerical value, and this number, the each and every number should vary between 1 and 254. Okay, 1 and 255 also, but 255 is broadcasting, don't use that. 1 and 254 only, so should not cross 255. Okay, and it is only numerical value, and 4 octet. I'll tell you, it is a 32-bit numerical value which will have 4 octet. I'll write it and show you. Another one is this IPv6. Okay, it is 128-bit alphanumeric and special characters also. Means it has got numbers, it has got alphabets, it has got colon also. Correct? Huh? And it is 128-bit. If you ask me, sir, why do we need IP version 4 and IP version 6? See, earlier when we were about 10 years before, if you go, if you want to see a mobile, at least per home one mobile was there. As soon as, not even one mobile, I have seen, we used to go to some other house to do the phone calls. They used to call us, your parent, your relative called, or they are called, like that. Okay, they used to, no, we used to go there and make the calls. Okay, so nowadays it is not like that. Nowadays, every person has got minimum two, three phones. I'm using three phones. Okay, in my home, minimum around six, seven phones are there, and everything is digital. Six, seven phones are there, three laptops are there, three tablets are there. Okay, and smart TV is there. Okay, every device should have different IP address. Okay, if that is the case, the availability of this IP version 4 gets exhausted. Okay, if we are continue with the same speed or phase, one fine day the IP version 4 will be exhausted. We may not have any IP address to usage. So that is why the research people have invented a new series of IP address. Okay, that is called as IPv6, and that IPv6 is not just a number; it has got alphanumeric value, and no matter, even if you go for another one generation or two generations, we will have the same. I mean, we have enough free IP addresses. That is the difference. So the lack of availability of the IPv4 will, I mean, was allowed, or was forced to go for the IPv6. None of the, I mean, most of the companies are not using, only the big gains are using this IPv6 for now. Okay, 99% of the people are still using IPv4 only. Only few limited companies they are using IP version 6. Clear it is? Say yes or no. Is it clear? What is the
Sir.
difference between IPv4 and IPv6?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before I go there, okay, so I wanted to show you something. I told you, na? So IP address means there are two versions of IP address. So one is IPv4, another one is IPv6. So IPv4 means, I told you, it is a 32-bit IP number, correct? 32-bit number or IP address. This one is 128-bit. Okay. So bits are nothing but what? What do you mean by bits? Bits is nothing but numbers. Bit means 1. So 32-bit means it is like this. I told you 32-bit 4 octet. Okay, this is not like this. It is 128 alphanumeric, alpha plus numeric plus special characters. Okay. So if I want to write this 32-bit, it is like this. I told you 4 octet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 octet plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 2 octet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I told you, na, computer will only understand zeros and ones, correct? Na? So it will always understand binaries. Binaries means, even though this IPv6 is a number, that is not binary. Computer will only understand what? Binary, zeros and ones. Zeros and ones, correct? Na? So even though you are writing like this, 192.168.1.10, the computer will convert that to zeros and ones only and understand. Okay, and if you see here, it has got 8. I told you 4 octet. Octet means it is 8. Octa means 8, na? Correct, right? Octa means it is 8. Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Octa means it is 8. Okay, so here I told you 8 bit, 32 bit. Now 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, 8 fours are 32. So that is what is 32 bit. And I told you the number should vary between 1 and 255. Imagine you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you put 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of this is 5, this is 6, 2 to the power of 7. Okay, that means it is, if you look at 2 to the power of 0 means it is 1, this is 2, this is 4, this is 8, this is 16, this is 32, this is 64, and this is 128. Correct now? If you put 128, 64, 32, 16, this will come to 255. If you want, you can calculate. That is why I told you the IP address, the range, this one, this IP, right? This number should always vary between 1 and 255. If you write anything more than 255, it is an invalid IP address. Okay? If you write anything more than 255, that is invalid, that is null. There is no meaning for that IP address. This is clear? Now you know what is 32-bit. Now you know what is octa. Correct now? Now you know why the 255 value is there. Okay, there is a this is a actually this is an 2 to the power of n minus 1. This is the formula. Okay, if you put this formula 2 to the power of n minus 1, it will come to 255 only. Okay, let me calculate here just to make it simple. Please ask me if you have any doubts, questions. If you're not asking, okay, how will we know? 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 plus 128 plus, if you do see, 255, and I told you minus 1, it is 254. That is why I told you the number will always vary between 1 and 254. You can write 255 also, but that is broadcast. Try to avoid 255. Okay, you should never use 255. I will make it like this: don't use 255. Okay, you should only use 1 to 254. If you write anything more than 256 or 255, if you if you maintain like this, if you write like this, one second, let me make it simple. Yeah, if I write an IP address like this, 192.259.1.10, is it a valid IP address? Is it a valid IP address, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It is not a valid IP address because the number is more than 254 here. Correct? Not the second number. Okay. So that is how to identify whether the IP address is a valid IP address or invalid IP address. Okay. If you are having that address, I mean that knowledge, let me move back to the slide. Okay. Now you know what is IP address. Now you know what is IPv4 and what is IPv6. I will not discuss about IPv6 because we are not using IPv6 as of now. Then there are two types of IP addresses. One is private IP address, another one is public IP address. Any idea what you mean by private and public? What do you mean by public and private, guys? Hmm? Hello?
Public means
Yeah,
everyone using. Private means ourselves, I think.
exactly. Public means it can be used by anyone. Like you have public transport, correct? Na? Public transport means any public can use. Okay, there is no religion, there is no state, there is no country. Okay, anybody can use. Okay, that is allowed for public. Private means it is your own. You have some private pool at your home. You will not allow everyone to come and play there. Correct? Na? Because that's your private. So that is the difference between public and private. Here, public means it is available over the internet. Means you have a public IP in your laptop. As of now, imagine you have a public IP in your laptop. I don't have to establish any connection. I can directly talk to your computer now. I can access your computer. I can copy the data from your computer. I can destroy your computer. I can give virus to your computer. Okay, anything can be happen if you have a public IP. So private IP is not like that. Private IP means to access something, I have to come to your home only. Means that network is within your home only. Okay, normally it will be used at the offices. Whatever internet you have at your home, that is public only. No matter you are connected to mobile or TV or laptop or whatever, That is the internet. So internet means that is public. Private means it is intranet. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So now you know public and private. So public means it is available over the net internet. Okay. And public IP address is costly IP, I mean chargeable IP address. You have to pay for the public IP address. Okay. Means per month around 1500 to 2000 rupees is there. If you want a public IP address, you need to pay for that. So private IP is not like that. Private IP is not like that. Private IP is a free IP address. You can use, anybody can use. It is free of cost, but that will be within your office. Okay. Say for example, you have 10 computers in your you are working in a small company, 10 computers are there. All the 10 computers are internally connected. You can talk to computer A, computer B can talk to computer 10 like that, correct? Na? So means they're using private IP only. Not they're not using public IP. Okay, that is private. Okay, so whether it is a public IP or a private IP, this IP is further divided into classes. Okay, so there are five classes of IP address. Okay, so this is clear. Huh? Shall I move on to the next slide?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
sir.
Okay, yeah. Mm, So the same thing I told you, na IP version 4 means it is a 32-bit logical address, and it has got 4 octet of each 8 bits. The same thing. See 192.168.39.240. Okay. So see 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, total 32 bits. So if I talk about IP address, the IP address will have both network ID plus host ID. So network ID means it is n, host id means it is 0. Okay, in the next slide you will understand. Okay, means how many bits you wanted for the network, how many bits you wanted for the host or the computers. That is the network id and host id. Okay, so if I talk about the classes of IP address, you see here I told you there are five classes: class A, class B, class D, class E. The class A, B, C, the first three classes can be used. If you see the remarks here, if you look at the remarks, I have mentioned these three can be used. Okay. Class D and class C you cannot use because they have dedicatedly kept for multicasting and for research purposes. So the research team will use this. Okay. The research team will use this too. You cannot use, civilians cannot be using. So this can be used. These three hypothesis classes can be used by the anybody. Okay. And if you look at, I mentioned class A means the number should start from 1 to 126. The first digit is there, na, like this 192.168.1.10. And if it is 10.11.239.191. Okay, another one is 173.10.229.222. Okay, here you have three IP addresses. Okay, and I told you if an IP address start between 1 and 126. When I say starts, you have to look only the first digit. Okay, you have to look only for the first digit. Now tell me, by looking at the above table, this 192.168.1.10 comes in which class?
Classic.
Exactly. So now tell me this 173.10.229.222 comes in which class?
Classic.
Class B.
It is class B. Okay. Because it is 173. And see 173 comes here. 128 and 191. It comes here. Correct na? So now this 10. 10.11.239 191. This belongs to which class?
Class
Class
A.
A.
Class
Yeah,
A.
it is belongs to class A because you need to look only for the first octet. The first octet, the number should be between this number 1 and 126, 128 and 191, 192 and 223. If you remember, I mean, if you know this, if you look at this table, there is a number missing. Correct, na? See here, it started between 1 and 126, and after 126, it is starting 128. There is a number missed, correct, na? That number is nothing but this 127001. Correct, right? 127 is missing here, correct, right? If you see, it is 126 and 128, it is starting. Correct, na? So 126 127 is missing. Am I right? Can you look at the
Yes.
screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Mm.
Sir.
It is not missing that 127001, or the one any number that starts from 127 is missing because that 127 is used for a separate purpose. Okay, we are not using that as an IP address. We are using that as an loopback adapter address. Means in your laptop you have the network interface card. So to check the health of the network interface card, this range of IP address is used. Okay. If you want to see, say for example, when you are trying to connect to the network, I mean internet, the internet is connecting after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it is getting disconnected every time. You want to make sure whether the network interface card is healthy. Okay, what you have to do, you have to just type ping and type 127.0.0.1 and it is responding you back. See, this is called as replaying. This is called as ping. Ping means you are trying to talk to the computer and the computer is talking to you. If the computer is talking to you means it will come like this, replay from 127.0.0.1. Okay, if it is not, say for example here 172.16. 1.3. If I this is a private IP address. Okay, see, it will, whenever there is no communication, it will come like this. See, request timed out means if the communication is not there, I am talking to you. If you are not responding me back, or if you are, say for example, when I want to talk on your phone, I will call you normally. If the network is there, it will just ring, correct now, maybe your caller tone, or maybe it will just, the ringing sound will come. That is what this is. Okay, when you are unreachable, okay, when you are out of the coverage, or when your mobile is shut down or switched off, then we will get a different notification. That is this one. They will tell the person you are trying to reach is out of coverage. The same here, the request turned out means you are trying to talk to this 1.3, but however this 1.3 is not in the network, we are unable to reach that person. That is the message here. Okay, so this 127.0.0.1 means if you are getting response, that means the network interface card of your computer, it is healthy. Okay, that's all. To verify the network interface card health, you are using the 127.0.0.1, and we call this IP address as loopback adapter IP address. Okay, clear? Is it clear,
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
friends? Okay. If it is clear, I want to ask, check your understanding. Okay. I will write couple of IP address here. You have to tell that IP address is belong to which class. Okay. That IP address is a private IP or, okay, private IP. Sorry, I will do one thing. I will finish this private and public part and then I'll come so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. Now the same thing. The same thing. The I told you know IP address means it will have both host address and computer host bit and network bit. Correct? Huh? See here, the class A, class B, class C. I told you three classes can be used. If you see the class A, why this classification? You may ask this question, sir. Why this classification? Why this classification like class A, B, C? Why can't we use at a single class? No. This class A, B, C, A or B or C is divided based on the network requirement. Say, for example, you are having a big organization. Big means big. There are 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs computers are connected. I mean, those many number of users are there. Imagine. If that is the case, you need more number of computers, more number of IP addresses, correct? Na? If you see here, this class A, like this, if I write, okay, 254. 254, 254, 254. Mean this is the IP address, correct? Now, this is valid IP address only, correct? Na? Is it a valid IP address?
Yes, sir.
Because all the digits are 254 only, this is a valid IP address. Okay,
It is less than
maximum.
254.
Yeah, it is less than 254, 4 or 5, that this is a valid IP address. Okay, so this class A B C, this classification is because if you need more number of computers, if you see, n means it is network. If you need only very few network, more number of host, then wherever you have more H, you have to go with that class. Okay, if you have average number of networks and average number of hosts or computers, you can go with class B. If you need more number of network, less number of computers. Example, to make sure. This Airtel outlets you might have seen, correct na? Every area you have one Airtel outlet, correct na? But inside the Airtel outlet, if you go, maybe one or two people will be sitting, only two computers will be there. Correct or not? Hello?
Correct, sir.
Yeah. There, that means we need more number of networks there. In Bangalore itself, we have more than 6 7,000 Airtel offices are there. Okay, so imagine each and every office is a network, correct? Na? That is the case. We need more number of networks here than the IP address. That is the case. If you go to such kind of companies, they will always opt class C IP address because less number of computers are there, more number of hosts are, networks are there. That if you go to the some other companies, like if you go to Accenture, if you go to Cognizant, if you go to IBM, if you go to Dell, they will be using class A IP address because their networks are less. In India we have only 4 to 5 offices. Microsoft, if you take, in Microsoft we have only 3 4 offices. One is in Bangalore, another one is in Hyderabad, another one is Pune, maybe one is in Delhi. Only 3 places we have offices, but in each and every offices we have thousands together of employees, correct na? Means thousand together of computers. That time what they will do, they'll just go with the class A IP address. So this is the classification of the IP address, class A B C. It is make sure it is to make easy to opt which class of IP address you belong to, because this N represent network, H represent host. If you need more number of hosts, go to the class A. If you need more number of network, then go to the class C. Okay, and each and every classes will have separate subnet mask. Okay, if you type class A IP address, okay, the subnet mask will be like this, because this is a network, correct? Now see, class A, it is network. All the 255 bits are dedicated for the network, and I told you that is why if I put one there, the previous slide, if I put one, the value is 255, correct na? Because n represents 1, correct or not? If I put all the places 1, okay, and 2 to the power of n minus 1 formula, if I put, that is 255 only. The same value they have written. And h means it is 0. If you put 0 0 0 0, then everything will be 0 only, correct? Huh? That is why this subnet mask of the class A will be 255.0.0.0, and class B is 255.255.0.0, because here you see two n's are there, and class C three n's are there. So 255 255 255.0. That is how this subnet mask will be derived. So while I was adding the IP address, I told you, na, I will tell you what is this 255.0.0 or 255.255 is coming like that. Okay, let me go to some network interface card, ncpa.cpl. Is it boring?
No, sir.
Okay, if I go to, thank you. So if I go to IP address here, see, now can somebody tell me one IP address of class A? Any IP address, one class A IP address.
190.
190. It is class
No, no,
B.
no.
Hmm.
Actually, 123.
Okay, yeah. Any number you can tell. You can even tell 1.1.1.1 if you want. See, if I put tab, see, It is the computer understood this belongs to class A, correct? Now, class A means it is only the first octet is network, remaining everything is network computer, correct? Now, that is why it is 255 255 Can somebody tell me now class B, one class B IP address?
128 dot
Yeah, superb.
0 dot
128.0.0.
0 dot 0.
And one more thing, thank you for telling 0.0.0. See, any number that ends with 0, it is not an IP address. Say, for example, now you said 128.0.0.0. Any number that is ends with 0, it is not an IP address. It is a network ID. Okay, say for example, the correct IP address is 128.0.0. The last number should vary between 1 and 254. Okay, so any number is there in the last octet. Okay, if somebody asks you, can you please write the network ID of this IP address, you can just type 128.0.0. This number should also be 0. So if any number that is ending with 0 is not an IP address, it is a network ID. Okay, so you should have a number. Is 0 is a number? Who
No.
spoke? Kartika?
Yes, sir.
Kartik, is 0 is a number?
Yes, sir.
0 number, huh? 0 is not a number, guys. Okay, it is null.
Null
Number means
value.
it is 1
Okay.
to 9, na?
0 is a null value.
Yeah, 0 is null. Number means it is 1 to 9. Okay, so that is why this 1 to 254 should be the value. Now, keeping this in mind, everybody, tell me one more class B IP address. Anybody, tell me 128. You can tell any number, no problem.
128,
Okay,
162,
okay,
192
okay.
dot 30.
Exactly. So this is a class B valid IP address. Okay. If somebody asks you to write the network ID of this IP address, you just have to tell 128.162.192. Last digit to make 0. That's all. This is the network ID. This is the IP address. Okay. This is the network ID. Simple. I think now we got it. Correct. Now, let me go back to the slide. Okay. So this is fine. Now you know what is the class A, B, C and why this class A, B, C classification and what is host bit means, what is network bit means and why this class A, class B, class C came. Okay, I think we missed that. Wait. Network interface card if I go here. Okay. So let me put 128.16.17. 18. If I put like this, see, automatically 255 255 came, correct? Now I'll put one class C also. Once again, 192.168.1.10, and if I press tab, see, class C address came, subnet mask came. So that is how the computer will understand. Okay, this belongs to which class and will automatically populate the things. Okay. Yes, Sarpita.
Actually, in the subnet mask, 255, 255.00, it can, how can we know, means 00 in the place of 1, 1.
You don't have to worry. If you just type the class B or class A or class C IP address and press tab. Oh, you want, I mean, can you please repeat the question?
Means in the subnet mask,
Hmm.
255, 255.00,
Hmm.
like how can we know?
We don't have to know. That's what I told you. I was just typing some IP address. Network interface card was automatically populating the IP numbers there. I was just typing 192, 168, or 1.10, correct? Na? And once I put the tab button, automatically the network interface card populated to 55 to 55 to 55.0. So you don't need to remember that. You should only know class A means this is 255 to 255.000. Class B means 255 to 55.00. Class C means 255 to 55 to 55.0. That's all. You have to remember only this one. Okay, the rest everything computer will be uh, taken, handled it. Okay, and this 192.168, those numbers can also be converted to what is that, zeros and ones. Okay, binary numbers, but you don't need to. That is subnetting. Okay, this is fine. Now I told you, right, sir? Okay, fine. You said public IP and private IP. Now, how will I know which IP address I should use as a private, which IP address I should use as a public IP? Because I don't want to spend money and I don't want to buy public IP address because I don't want to pay the money there. So, to make it simple, what they have done, in each classes, one IP address dedicatedly kept for the private usage. And if you look at in the class A, we have the range called 10.0.0.0. Okay, this is class A. And in class B, it is 172.16.0.0. This is class B. If an IP address that is begin with 10, if an IP address that is begin with 172 and 16, and if an IP address begins with 192 and 168, means in the class A, if the first digit is 10, that is a private IP address. Remaining three, what can be anything. Okay, and in the class B, the first and second octet should be 172.16. The remaining two digit can be anything. That is class private IP address. Class B private IP address. And in class C, same fashion. The first two digit like 192.168 should be there. Remaining two digits can be anything. Such IP address we call it as private IP address. Okay, class C. So now I will write few IP address here. Please let me know what does this IP address. Is it a private IP? Well, first of all, it is a valid IP address. If it is valid, which class it is? If it is which class, then you have to tell me whether it is private or public. Three things you have to tell me. Okay. One, you have to tell me whether it is valid IP address. Another one is which class. Okay. Third one is public or private. These three things I wanted. Okay. I'm writing an IP address now here. 11 dot 11 dot 11 dot 11. Is it a private IP or a public IP?
Public.
Which class?
Class yes.
Class A.
Is it valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid.
So
Excellent.
valid.
Excellent. See, this is what you have to understand when you look at an IP address. Okay. Now I will write one more. Okay. 10 dot 192 dot 172 dot 254. This is
So it's a private IP
okay.
address.
Okay. And which class?
Class
B.
C.
Class A.
Class?
C.
Class A, sir.
Okay.
Class A.
Who said class
Class
C?
A, sir.
Who said class C? I want to
Keshav.
Keshav, right? Keshav,
Yes, sir.
why it is class C?
Sir, it's more than
Range
254.
100.
No, that's what. You have to look only the first digit, Keshav. Only you have to look for this
Okay, sir.
digit. Okay. If the number is within the range, you have to consider this one. So this 10 comes between 1 and
Class A.
126. Correct, na?
Yes.
That is why it is class A,
A.
A.
private, and it is valid because the 10 comes between 1 and 126, class A, and this number is 10. Okay, then it is private, and all the numbers are between 1 and 254, then it is valid. Very simple. Okay, now one more. Okay, so one more IP address I'll write. See, any number that is coming apart from these three numbers, 10, 172, 16, 192, 168, everything is public. Okay, now let me write couple of more IP address. Okay, 11 dot 10 dot 1 dot 172. What is this IP?
Class A, sir.
Class C.
Class A, public, private, valid,
Public.
Public.
valid, invalid,
It is valid.
valid.
Public and valid.
Exactly,
Valid,
exactly.
sir.
That is how the understanding should be. Okay. Now 173.173.173.173. This is
Class C, sir.
very good.
V.
Very good. It is not class C. Okay, it is class B.
It's class B.
Yeah, it is class B. Okay. So it is a valid private or public.
Public, sir.
It's a public IP and it's a valid IP. It's a class B IP. Okay. So this is what this is how the understanding should be, guys. Do you need more on this? Is it fine? Understanding is fine? Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can
Yes,
you
sir.
tell me private and how can you classify private and what is this?
Private and
Private?
public. That is what, no?
How can we know that, sir?
That is
I
what
can't
I'm telling.
understand that.
See, if an IP address that is begin with 10, okay,
Okay.
starting is 10, that is private only. If the starting IP
10.
address is 172 and 116, see, 1 minute, I'll make it even more simple. See, the class B means it is 128 to 191, correct?
Mhm.
There are so many number comes between 128 and 191. But
Okay.
we have specifically told if a number that is begin with 172 116, that is private. Apart from this 172 116, if any number that is started like 173 174 175 or 129, whatever it is, okay, that is public. If this is having 10 172 192, that is private. That's all. Understood or not? No.
No, sir.
One second. So private IP means these three are the private IP address. What are those? In the class A, one IP addresses that is begin with 10,000. Okay. Class A range is 1 to 126. Okay. And I told you if only this 10,000 comes means that is private. Remaining everything is public. Okay. Now I will write you an IP address. You have to tell me whether it is public or private. Okay. Say for example, now I will give you one IP address 1.1.1.1. What is this IP address?
Class A.
Which public or private?
Public.
Public.
Yeah. Now similarly 4.4.4.4.
Public.
Now 7.8.9.10.
Public. No, private.
It is public.
Uh,
It is public.
Public.
See, don't look for this number. I am talking about only the first octet. You have to
Okay.
look
Okay.
for this first octet only. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Now one more. 10.11.12.13. This is
Private.
no. Correct. This is private
Public.
IP. No, no, no. Private only. This is private because that is starting with 10. No.
Okay.
If you look at the slide, only the first digit, guys. Here only one digit is there. Na, see, only one is there. 10. Apart from that, all zeros are there. So these zeros can be filled any number between 1 to 254. Okay. Only the class B and class C have two numbers 172 and 16. Even if you write 172.15, that is a public IP. You have to write 172.16.1 to 254, any number, that is private. Okay. So if I go back there, okay, if I go back here, this is now you understood, no? Kavya, you understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I will write one more thing in the class B. So similarly, class B also has got one IP address dedicatedly kept for the private usage. That is 172.16.0.0. This is your private range. Any IP address that is begins 172 and 16, that is private. Now see here, I will write one more thing. 172.15.1.10. Is it a private or public?
Private, sir.
Right.
It is public,
Private.
guys. It is public because see, I have written 15 here, But
But
here
we have to
172.
consider first.
No, no, no. In the class B, I told you 2 octet you have to consider. That is why I have written there. In class C also 2 octet you should consider. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So here I have did 170.15, 1.10. That's a public one. Okay. So valid is like 172.16 dot. That is why whenever I write the IP address in the range 172, I'll always tell 172.16 dot then any number. If I write class C, I will always write 192.168.1.10 or 254, 250, any number. Okay. Now tell me this IP address is public or private.
Private, sir.
Private, sir.
Yeah. Now one more. 173.16.1.10.
Private, sir.
173 it is.
Public, sir.
Public, sir.
It is public. Okay. So little understanding you got, right? Somewhat now. Kavya, you are fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think if understanding is fine, then I'll go back to the slide. Okay. So the last topic is subnetting. Any idea what I mean by subnetting? I will not take more than 5 minutes. It will be done for the day. So subnetting means the process of dividing larger number of network into smaller network. Okay. So before I do that, I'll just go here. Okay. So subnetting means the process of dividing large network into small network. Okay. That means you have a bigger, say for example, you have a big property of your parents, and you are maybe two, three sons are there or kids are there for your parents. Okay. What they will do, they will divide that big property of 5 acre into three equal pieces, or maybe a big son they may give a little extra and remaining can be, I mean, depend upon their mindset, they will just divide it and give it to you. Correct, na? The same thing here. For what? For effective utilization. Okay. So partition means, subnetting means it is dividing a big network into small network. Or if you want to even make it, even if I want to make even more simple, if you imagine when we were in childhood, we used to get 200-page notebook, and we used to divide the number of pages for different subjects. Correct, na? Because if it is social, we need more. If it is mathematics, we need more pages. If it is any other subject, we need less pages. So depend upon that, we used to segregate the notebook into small uh, units. Correct, na? And we used to write the notes. The same thing here. Subnetting means the process of dividing large number of network into small network. Then you may ask a question, sir, why do we need, sir? Why do we need that? For effective utilization of the IP address. And I told you IP address is very important, correct? Na? So, and if it is a public IP, it is very expensive, correct? Na? So, what we will do? So, we will divide that into small. Imagine if I write 172 172.16.1.0/24. That means 254 IP addresses are there. Okay. 254 means uh, I mean 24 means I am going to give 3 bits for the network. Understood? 3 bits for the 3 octet for the network. 8 plus 8 plus 8. Okay. The first 3 are all for the network. Remaining 8 bits are there. No? 8 bits means it is 254. So means you have given this 24 bits for the network, and this last bit is only for the computer. So in the last bit, if you have only 254 IP address, you will be getting it. Understood? Guys, clear or not? See, whenever you write an IP address, okay, say for example, this IP address, if you write, this is an octet. If I convert to octet, and this is an octet, this is an octet, and this is an octet, and I'm telling /24. Whatever number you are writing after this 24, that is it represents the network bit. Okay, means ends. So here I'm telling 24 bit for the network. If I remove 24 bit, you only have 8 bits. So if you put 8 bits like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 2 to the power of 0 to 2 to the power of 7, it will be 254 only. Okay, 254 only. So that is what I'm telling. You will only have 254 IP address there. Okay, so the router will be there. No, router will have different range of IP address or different network in each and every interfaces. Okay, so router, any idea what you mean by router? Router means it is router 1 at the Bangalore office, this is router 2 at Hyderabad office. Okay, router means it's an intelligent device. Okay, it is used to establish the connection between two different network. So you have Bangalore office here, this is Hyderabad, right? And this is BNG. And you have engineers in Hyderabad also, Bangalore also. So in order to establish the connection, okay, you need router here in each and every location. And the router should have separate network in each and every interfaces. Okay, means router has got a port here. Okay, and that port should have a different IP address. And here you have only 254 IP address. If you just make it /24 one big network, you can only give here and you don't have here. So what you will do, instead of that, you can create small subnet there. See here. If I put /24 here, can you see here? If I put /24 here, that is 254 IP address. If you make /25, that is 128 IP address. So what you can do, you can just type 120 that IP 172.16.0.128/25. That means you are creating two networks there. Okay, so let me go back. I mean, don't worry, this is actually CCNA part, just to give you glimpse. I'm just telling you glimpse. Actually, don't have to worry, you don't have to remember it. Okay, you only have to remember what is subnet, that's all. So what you will do, you will create 172.16.1.0/25. Okay, and here you will put 172.16.128/25. So that means, see, same IP address here, 172.16.1 is there, here also 172.16.1 is there. Since I have subnetted, guys, if you have anything like that, if apart from this 8, 16, 24 /8/16/24, apart from these three numbers, any number you have, that means that is subnetted. Very easy, because we have these octets. We have these octets 8, 16, 24 and 32, correct? Now 4 octets are there. The standard is either 8, either 16, either 24 or 32. Apart from this standard numbers, if you have anything like apart from this standard number, if you have anything that is slash along with this unstandard number, okay, non-standard number, that is subnetted only. Okay, so basically your understanding or the takeaway of this slide is, subnetting means the process of dividing large number of network into small number of network to make the IP address effectively utilized. So I gave an example 172.16.10/24. It was a /24 network. It is having 254 IP address, and I wanted to use the same range for both Bangalore and Hyderabad office. That is what I did. I just subnetted this one like 172.16.1.0/25 made. Then I got from 1 to 128. I got it here. I can use the range here. And here it is 129, guys. Okay, 129/25. So that I can use 172.16.129 to 254. You can use it here. Okay, here the first type is 1, last type is 128. Here the first type is 129, last type is 254. Okay, that is how the subnetting works. Okay, how do you know which subnet is giving which how many number of IP address? You can see this here. There is a formula 2 to the power of n minus 1. Based on the number of IP address, you can just put it. Okay. that is all about the IP address classes. Any questions, guys? Take this picture, no? Please take this picture. If you have done, I think let me stop share recording.